The corruption in the Senate was proven when the current Prime Nominus was assassinated by Sentinel, with Senator Shockwave next on his list, basically because Sentinel hated outliers. And so they subjected him not only to shadow play, a process where his emotion processors were cut out to forever alter his personality, but Sentinel also subjected him to Imperator, a punishment that involved removing his hands and head and replacing them with generic ones. All that gave us the Shockwave we are familiar with. But rather than subdue and subjugate our guy and make him fall into line like what they wanted, all the Senate did was remove his morality, with him instead falling back on the cold, unfeeling ruthlessness that is logic. Himself as a servant of logic more than a servant of Megatron, Shockwave sees his lack of emotions and empathy as a strength more than anything else. He created some of the most notorious, he trained some of the most sadistic, he time-traveled to rewrite Cybertronian history and religion, he turned a Titan into a monstrous undead Titan, shooting a bunch of missiles, each loaded with a different ore, to a selection of different planets to see how they would develop under the differing planetary conditions. He spent 500,000 years traveling from planet to planet studying the properties of the ores on these planets, one including Earth. But just think about that, even in Cybertronian terms, that's a big chunk of years. That is the patience and meticulousness that we're talking about here. All of the ores that Shockwave had scattered across space were now on the same planet. Uniting the Ore 7 with the Ore 2 and Ore 14 put the power of life and death in Shockwave's hands. Merging Ore 6 with Ore 8 granted him control of the potential energy of Ore matter, and fusing Ore 1 and Ore 13 bent the fabric of time to his will. With all of this power now at his disposal, Shockwave set about his ultimate endgame, to collapse all of reality into a singularity the size of a pinhead, and use that to power Cybertron forever. All of the power of all of the stars, all of the planets and their molten cores, all of the lives of the universe crushed down to a single atom, to have their life forces harvested and slowly drained for eternity. Thanos did not have shit on this guy. Blasted him back in time, only by 12 million years though. There, he came across a guy called Onyx, wandering around looking after some beasties or something. Shockwave realized that this dude would later turn out to be one of the fabled 13 Primes, the first Transformer to possess a beast mode in fact. Shockwave killed him to step into his shoes and take his place in the timeline, setting out on another complicated master plan that would span every corner of the galaxy and pretty much the entire span of time, with his ultimate goal to undermine all of Cybertronian history and religion. And then he started engineering the fall of the 13 Primes, steering the Primes into infighting and genocidal conquests, notably the planet Antilla, where this dude invented a certain planet-sized killing machine to strike back at the Cybertronians. He also invented the talisman to end all life on Antilla, both Antillan and Cybertronian, and the whole planet collapsed into a black hole. And if you're wondering how you could top that, essentially putting yourself at the center of everything that ever happened on Cybertron, well, you can't really.